welcome back to Rugged Mountain Homestead. My name is Sarah.
And as usual, I'm Dean.
And today I wanted to share a renewed vision with you. Dean has been working hard on this to make it come to fruition, and I wanted to show you what the process has been and where we stand. So let's go on down.
Okay, so here we are. All right, so what we did was last year is a little over 500 square feet of raised bed. Built this, I think we even had a video on it, and it's raised, so the only way to keep the walls from bowing out under the weight was to secure it in the ground somehow. So originally I used these 1.5-inch diameter pipes and drove them into the ground and screwed them into the supports, the vertical supports of the framework. And I drove them in as hard as I could, as much as I could. I thought they went deeper, but apparently they were only about 1 foot deep. It lasted fine. We had it filled with hugelkultur and then the dirt. And after Sarah planted, we found out that the soil was contaminated with a broadleaf herbicide. And so it killed everything. So we let it go. And then this year, we had to empty it out. We emptied it completely out. As you can see, there was video previously to this about that as well. So there was hugelkultur for about 1 foot, and then dirt, and many loads in and out of here, cleaning it back out. Well, by putting the tractor in there too, it also helped bow the sides out. And I just realized that these pipes were not sunk deep enough in the ground and they weren't sturdy enough. So I had a lot of 4-inch treated posts that I was going to use, or am going to use, for the fencing around the whole thing here. And I took from that a bunch of the posts and sunk them at least 2 feet each in the ground, in addition to the pipe that's there, and I reinforced that as well. So basically, every so often, the only reason that these are still full length is because Sarah is going to put cattle panel type arch so she can have a trellis. So every so often I sunk these 4-inch posts, and I mean they are in there solid. They are not going anywhere. And on top of that, in between, of course, there's the metal pipes still. And so this has been great. It was a lot of work, and I would not have done it had we not had to replace the dirt. But since we had to anyway, I said, you know what? Let's find a way to make this thing solid and last. So there we go. We got a lot of these posts in. It's solid as a rock, and we're ready to start refilling and start again. So we're going to do again the same thing: 1 foot of hugelkultur and then some soil we're going to get from the local nursery.
A lot of work that I am super grateful to my husband for. I was out here minimally just helping him take the soil out of the beds and basically just holding these posts while he used, what was that?
Sawzall.
To cut them off at the top of the beds. So I couldn't have this without him.
So yeah, you see there's 4 posts up front we just went by and I described, and there's 4 posts back behind me. So she's going to have 2 arched trellises on in between these 2 big 40-foot beds.
Right. Now here's where we're getting to my vision. Okay, so when Dean was down here doing this work with the posts and I came down to hold the top part for him, we just couldn't get that activity on camera because I don't want to set up my tripod and have the dogs knock it over. So when I came out here to look at the progress, I saw these posts, these wooden posts like this all the way down. And I was just, to me, I was like, that is so beautiful. I love that. And I could see vegetables, you know, climbing beans, flowers, so many different things growing on it. And then I could also see that I wanted to have little lights. That's what I'm going to do. I've ordered one set, they're here, and I have another set to pick up today. And I'm going to run lights from this post all the way down to this post. So that'll be pretty. It won't interfere with anything growing. And I will do the same on this side from post to post. Now also I will have a trellis over here that's gonna come like this. And of course these posts just give it an awesome rustic look, feel. And then I have some of my garden decor that I can hang on that. I have just become so super excited with this renewed vision. Last year, I kind of knew what I wanted and I knew what I had in my heart, you know, what my desire was for it, but I never really got to see it. And so we were just kind of putting things up, even though we worked really hard on it, I just couldn't see it. So when everything went downhill, it really just kind of sunk my heart. So this year, I feel 100% better. It just started coming to me as Dean was working on it, and I remember telling him, because originally I was just going to put T-posts in the ground and do my arch trellis, and when I saw this, I was just like, no, this is it. And then
solid.
Right, and then I started the ideas started growing, and of course, yes, am I planting to have? I'm sorry, the sun is so bright out here today. Am I planting to have food? Yeah, of course. That is the main objective, is that I want food, but I also want this to be a place that I can come down to, that Dean and I can spend some time down in, searching for a little table and chairs, just to be kind of a respite, and we can enjoy not only that it's producing, but that it's a thing of beauty as well. Also, besides producing food for us, because we do have 500 square feet here, did you say?
A little over that.
Yeah, so from everything that I've heard, it takes for people to eat and to have food to put up, I believe it's 100 to 200 square feet per person, probably 200 square feet per person. So that leaves 400, you know, that's 400 for us. And then that leaves 100 square feet. And I want to share any excess to people who do not have access to organic, homegrown food. I remember there was a day when there was no way I could have access to that for myself and the kids. So it is really important to me, especially with how high things are. You go into the store and all they're selling is convenience, and it's truly not food. I had to go into a big box store yesterday for a few supplies, and I was just kind of looking at, you know, some of the items in there, and I was just like, I can't believe that this is how the only way I knew how to eat was to buy these box meal kits and throw in some meat and add some water, and I truly thought that I was making a meal for my family. I just wish I had all this knowledge beforehand, but the important thing is that I have it now. So,
So hopefully this year will be a big success.
Yeah.
And so the next steps are, again, off in the distance, you can see a lot of sticks and brush and twigs and whatnot. The hugelkultur. We've got a big pile of wood chips. Off to the right, in between, is a framework for a greenhouse that my buddy Woody helped put up last year, but due to circumstances, I did not go ahead and finish putting in the panels. But he's coming in a little over a week and a half, 2 weeks, to help put up the fencing around here. So I have 8-foot horse fencing or wildlife fencing that we're going to put up to make sure that deer don't make off with all of our stuff. So if you look around, you can see Sarah will probably show you.
That's what these posts are for. That's what they originally were for. And
Yeah.
we're going to be using the same kind of post
Yep.
to make the fence. Dean and Woody are going to put up.
And you can see
fence.
where we're going to have it. If Sarah wanted to pan through and show the four corners,
Yeah.
the orange stakes are the four corners that we have. So the entire thing will be enclosed, so she can take her cart around and through in between the gardens and collect whatever she needs to do.
And if you remember last year, we just had up some cheap netting type fencing and it was a mess. We will never be using that again. Okay, so here's one corner of the post for the fencing, and then there's Wyatt, and down past Wyatt there is another orange post that's going to be the other end of the perimeter. So that leaves me with all this space in here and this berm, kind of like a swale. And this is where I plan on planting my pumpkins. So I am just super excited. I feel rejuvenated, and I just have a vision that I didn't have last year. So that makes all of this worthwhile. And then Dean, if you were with me last year, you might have noticed that when I came out here the once or twice on camera, that there was a big sagebrush bush here, and it's been relocated because it was just a nightmare to try to get around when watering. And then there was a big rock
Boulder set here.
Yeah, right there. And he moved it underneath the tree. And I did not want that boulder taken out of here because I do love it. And then I want to plant things around it because I had a pile of rock over in another corner and things started growing up in the middle of it. And I just love the way that looked. So each of this is going to be a step-by-step process. Then here is the post for the other side of the perimeter, and it'll go up to there. Now my vision for here, along this side, along the fence line, I have some amaranth that has sprouted, and it is an ornamental, and it's going to grow to be 2 to 3 feet tall, and it is a beautiful red. The variety is Love Lies Bleeding red amaranth. So I want to plant that alongside the fence line over here. But no, just super excited, rejuvenated, new vision, and I'm praying that it produces.
It'll pay off. Because I think doing this exercise twice is enough. It has been a lot of work, but it'll be worth it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us up here on Rugged Mountain Homestead, out looking at our vision for our 2024 garden. We're always happy when you come up here and join us on the homestead. So we look forward to seeing you next time, and until then, take care.
And there goes my tape measure. See you later.